Welcome to the scary show. To the scary show. To the scary show.
Welcome to the scary show. This story is called Ophelia, written and performed by The Scary Show.
Death does not part, only lack of love.
He thrust his spade into the hollowed ground. The tip of it bit down into the soil like Adam's teeth did the storied apple. Hungry and starving for her. Again and again, building up a rhythm, his tool thrust steadily, repeatedly, fueled by unshakable optimism. Oh, sweet Ophelia, the sound of her name on his breath, in awful contrast to the hum of the flies swarming around him, bumping into one another, drunk from his alcohol-laced sweat. 9, 10, his muscles tense, his shirt drenched. 26, 27, these damned mosquitoes, they never relent. 37, 38, must not keep her waiting, just work through the pain. It can't be much farther, can it? He thought to himself, after around the 40th spadeful of earth dug up and removed. In his heart and in his mind, she was lying there, waiting patiently for him, like Sleeping Beauty, breathless with anticipation of their reunion. He continues digging, 50, 60, 70 some odd measures of dirt removed, at least double that amount after, and more still to follow those. He digs until the spade hits the wood of her casket. Thunk. It is the sound of sweet affirmation. His weary, bone-driven muscles are reinvigorated. He attempts to wipe the sweat from his brow with an already soaked forearm, as useless an effort as attempting to drown a fish in water. Perspiration continued to burn his eyes. It doesn't take much longer before he is reunited with sweet Ophelia. There she lay, just as he last saw her, all dressed in white, like an angel, visiting the earth. Her hair was immaculate, every curl arranged perfectly. Her lipstick, rose pink, and it still tasted like cotton candy. Just a taste for now, he whispered into her ear before carefully placing her inside the car. He positioned her in the front passenger seat and strapped her in, snugly. A half-folded-up map of the area falls from the passenger side overhead visor. A path is marked, highlighting the road from what was to be their home to here, from sanctuary to sepulchre. Not that it mattered. He knew where he was going. The radio hinted at familiar tunes through the static, too distorted to decipher, mangled and merged meanings, too distant to discern. Every set of headlights heralded another brush with death. Once familiar road signs were now squiggly hieroglyphs warning of the dangers he just ignored. He only had a quarter of a tank of gas and half a bottle of gin left by the time he reached the straightaway. There was no turning back. He would see to it that they would be together again. Nothing would separate them this time. Richie Valens ferried them through their sleepwalk via an old record player as they entered the living room. From the moment they passed by the empty mahogany china cabinet, it was clear that tonight was a special night. The dining room table was set with care, and provisions were made, enough for two. Red wine would flow like water. Glasses would never be empty, and assorted foods would cover the table, course by course. Jellies filled bellies, and the smell of garlic seasoned the air. She sat at one end of the table, patient and as still as stone. He sat at the other end, simultaneously guest and host, waiter and busser. The wedding gown she wore was beautiful, a shadow of its former glory, but undeniably magnificent. He could only see the eternally radiant beauty of her. "Can I tell you something?" he began, pausing momentarily to allow her time enough to reply. "You look absolutely ravishing tonight." He hung his head and bashfully took another sip of wine. He smiled as he began unbuttoning his shirt. The look in his eyes was craven. Rising from his chair slowly, it barely made a sound as its legs slid across the hardwood floor. His eyes remained focused on her as he cleared everything from the table onto the floor, making his way around it towards her. There was pink champagne on ice in the upstairs bedroom. The sheets on the bed were of satin, and the bathtub was filled with bubbles. No expense was spared, from the scented oils to pink feathered handcuffs. With the aid of 69 positions of the Kama Sutra manual, no fantasy would be too far-fetched. No feline nicknamed orifice too feral to be fucked. With an assortment of sensual surprises, the boudoir was a bordello of bohemian hedonism, but they never made it that far. He took her by the hand and made his conquest there on the dining room table. There was need for neither foreplay nor formality. He had been known to this woman countless times before, as intimate as only the most physical of physicians ever could. He unbuckled his pants and kissed her passionately as he climbed on top of her, with one hand beneath her hips and another slicked with his own saliva, curled into a fist, acting as a bridge between bodies. He licked and nibbled her ear. His manhood throbbed in the grip of his fist. He was convulsing in anticipation of their first contact. He was delicate about penetration, allowing her a moment to adapt to every pulsating inch. She made no sound to indicate discomfort. Once he found himself inside her, he relocated both his hands to her hips and began long stroking gyrations that led to multiple ejaculations and blissful moments of exasperation between erections, deeper and deeper, just a little deeper each time. When the sensation comes, keep holding on. When the miracle comes, stay inside, take hold, and never let her go. If you enjoy the stories you find here, click the like button. Think of it as applause at the end of a performance. If you haven't already, subscribe and click the bell for all notifications. It's the top icon. Share this story with everyone you can so that others may discover the scary show. Questions, comments, suggestions? Leave them down below. The Scary Show always answers the fans. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week with a brand new episode of The Scary Show.